I know a lot of you were sold in the run up to the election that Donald Trump is going to be a president of peace. He doesn't like war. He doesn't want a nation build or anything like that. Well, that was a scam. I don't know why you couldn't tell, but he's not, and to his credit, he's not waiting a long time to reveal that there was nothing to that, because he is now calling for somehow more harm, more violence to be inflicted on the Palestinian people. He truths to this. Everybody's talking about the hostages who are being held so violently, inhumanely, and against the will of the entire capital W world in the Middle East. But it's all talk and no action. So what's he gonna do? I guess he's writing it down. It's not talk, but it's still just words. Anyway, he says, please let this truth serve to represent. I hate when he tries to talk like he thinks intelligent people talk, or like official. Please let this Truth Social post serve to represent that if the hostages are not released prior to when he takes office, there will be all hell to pay in the Middle East, and for those in charge who perpetrated these atrocities against capital H humanity. Those responsible will be hit harder than anybody has been hit in the long and storied history of the United States of America. Who gave him a thesaurus? Release the hostages now. Okay, so a couple issues with that. One, we nuked Japan, to be clear. And so if I'm taking him at his word, what does he want them to do to Gaza that will be worse than the nuking of Japan? But also, there will be all hell to pay in the Middle East. And if you ask one of his cronies, one of his lackeys, one of his toadies, they'll be like, for the leadership of Hamas, there will be all hell to pay for them. How has that worked out so far? When those who are mad at Hamas go after them, who suffers exactly all this time over and over and over again? Despite however many massacres, who keeps suffering? When he says all hell to pay, he means for the Palestinian people. That is who is going to pay the hell in that phrase. And I do have to say, Yaz, I consider myself to be a creative person. I think that I have a good imagination. I don't know how there would be more hell to pay. There's scarcely a building left standing in Gaza. They've killed tens of thousands of civilians, many, many more on the brink of starvation. What more could be done? Like the explicit use of chemical weapons, like broadly, just an open nod to using weapons of mass destruction. I don't even know what he's implying they could do that they haven't already done.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think it's exactly that. Unfortunately, I'm just rereading the Truth Social post that all hell to pay. Worse than in the long and storied history of the United States. Like, what could that possibly mean? It can only mean something very, very bad, especially when you look at what is already happening over in Gaza right now and the surrounding areas. And I like what he said, oh, everyone's talking about the hostages. Like, he sounds like an influencer who's just like trying to be relevant and go viral. He's like, oh, everyone's been asking about the hostages. So I thought I would, address it. So that's what he's doing. He's trying to, rally up support before he goes into the White House. And he's trying to just, act like he's tough on all these big, scary international leaders, right? And that was his whole shtick the first time he was in office, right? He was cozying up to all these people around the world, in North Korea and Russia and Hungary, all over, where most American leaders in the past were not going to mess with these people because they were dictators, because they weren't the type of leaders that the Western world typically recognizes as being good leaders. Take that for what you will. There's a lot of dynamics going on there. But that was his whole thing. Is like, I'm not scared of these people. They're scared of me. So he's trying to like be that strong guy again. The unfortunate reality of it is that as long as he wants to posture and he wants to, have all this big talk about what he's going to do once he gets into office, the people are actively suffering. They have been suffering for a long time, not just the last year, but decades before that. And it's not going to get better for them with Donald Trump in office. And I think during the election, this was obviously a very hot topic, especially for the people who are abstaining from voting for Democrat in solidarity with Gaza and with the people over there. But it really is not a pleasant experience. And a lot of Donald Trump supporters, they also, I don't think, really understand the difference between Hamas suffering and actual Palestinian people suffering. And it's really, really disheartening to see.
Yeah, and I don't know how much we can even fault them for not understanding the distinction between those things. I mean, right-wing media treats every single Palestinian person as a terrorist. I mean, they're fairly gleeful in that. They love the kill counts that they've seen. Trump has this strategy of I'm just going to demand a whole bunch of things, and if any of them happen, even if they're things, by the way, as I'll demonstrate, that have already happened, well, I can say that I did it. And if it doesn't happen, well, where is one of my voters going to find out about that? Fox News, that
Mhm.
I made a prediction and it turned out wrong, or I threatened something and it didn't go the way I wanted. What like Ben Shapiro's going to provide critical coverage of that? Come on, it's not going to happen. And so when he says, I spoke with Mexico and I told them you have to get those border crossings down. Border crossings are down. They're already down. What are you talking about? He can make a threat that inflation has to come down. It's down. It's already, he's just going to claim credit for the things that have already been done. And if it doesn't happen again, there will be no consequences for that. And we shouldn't be surprised by this, by what he's saying about Gaza. He said a long time, this is back in April, Israel needs to, quote, finish what they started, and the war is taking too long, effectively. Finish what they start. Like, does anyone think that if they glassed the entirety, every square inch of Gaza, if the IDF wiped out every man, woman, and child, Trump would be like, no, you've gone too far. Does anyone think that? And I'm not even gonna get into the people who for some reason believed that he would be better on this topic. It doesn't matter. This is what we've got. But this is what we knew we'd have. And
Well, John,
Israel is going to feel, well, really fast. Israel, to whatever extent they can be more barbaric than they've already been, and I don't know how much there's left for them to do because Biden has given them very free reign. They will 100% feel free to do whatever their worst impulses tell them to do.
yeah. I know we have to go to the next story, but I just want to say real quick that during his first term, Donald Trump was the one who declared Jerusalem for Israel. So, like, this is
Yeah.
all just a long time coming. Just a really quick, friendly reminder to everyone watching.
You're 100% right. And he massively escalated the bombing in Syria. He was the one that authorized the deployment of the Moab in Afghanistan. Like, maybe they'll start dropping those in Gaza. I don't know. Stay tuned. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.